Well, hi there, gang. Once again, it's Bob in one KPR. Uh, I just finished this project. It's been a long time overdue, and I figured, what the heck? While I have some time, and Lord knows there ain't much of that lately, uh, why don't I do a quick video here, a little tutorial of what this monster really was destined for. This is an Icom R9000. It's a 3 generations removed uh, receiver, and very heavy actually on the scanning functions. See if we can get in there. You can see some of the on the right hand side, all the scanning modes and so forth. Also over here, typical scanning functions. Uh, this little sweetheart will do 100 kilohertz out to 2 gigs. So it is a good SWL thing, out to 30 megs, and then from there up you can go through the ham bands, 2 meters, 440, and so on. You go right up to 2 gigs. You can actually do some EME with this in the water hole of, what is that, 1.42, I think, the hydrogen hole, as they call it. Well, yeah, I think it's 1.42 or 1.24. I forget, but this thing will cover it. Anyhow, what we did, this project was, these originally had an amber CRT, and first of all, they're getting hard to get, and the ones you can find, you want to replace the CRT after a lot of hours, and it starts to get soft and blurry and low light output. They're going to be very expensive if you can find one. And even worse would be the entire video module that's in there. It's a high voltage module. Let me see if I can grab this one here. Here we go. Well, I'll just do it over here. Bear with me. This is a handheld. I'm holding the camera on the. This is what the thing looks like. It's a little TV. Well, it's a little monitor. It's a 5-inch screen. And it has all the requisite stuff in there. The sweep, vertical, horizontal sweeps, the high voltage stuff. And of course, being in a receiver that's sensitive to less than 1 microvolt on a 50 ohm line, this thing is in a steel. I won't say EMP proof, but certainly RFI proof container. So we'll put that back. We'll go into this. All right, quickly, because Bob tends to go long and all that. What you do is you have this big compartment between these two shielded modules, and what's in there now, as you can see, is a lot of nothing. I'm trying to get some perspective in here on the depth. All right, down in here, you see a 3-inch hunk of 3/4-inch aluminum angle. Get into that in a second. And further down, I'm holding the camera upside down now. This, let's see if we can get that for you. This whole aluminum thing here with the 2 wires coming out is an LCD screen. It's that thing. And these are the kind of screens. They take composite video. These are the kind of things you'll see on the headrests in some of the newer cars. Keep the kids happy with their little cartoon shows and all that. Make them shut up back there. Shut up and put on Mickey Mouse or whoever. SpongeBob. Anyhow, to put that in, it's not an exact replacement for the video, the high voltage CRT module. So it's got to be, something's got to be done. Now, I could very simply have made a bracket that fastens the, I don't know if I can get in there, fastens to the ears here, and here on the top, and on the bottom, there's some lugs coming out. There, you can see the hole in the far corner there on both sides. Or the quick way, and that's to use an industrial adhesive. I said, you know what? I've seen that done before. I've seen some of the top-end manufacturers, ITT McKay. I've seen it done with some of the, one of the Raycal models. There was a Cubic and a Roden Schwartz. So I've seen this stuff used. It's okay. Bob could use it too if they use it. And what I use is, hang on, let me get it. That stuff. They call it goop, and it's a proper name. Believe me, this stuff gets on your fingers. You're gooped up for a while. So anyhow, what did I do? I bought the module. The module is from that company. I have no connection to them. BitStork. They're in Poland, and they sell this thing for about $150. But it's very simple. Here's a chunk of coax coming out of it. That's the 1 volt peak to peak composite video. This yellow wire. Why people don't follow the retina color code, I'll never know. Yellow wire is B plus, 12 volts, regulated 12. And that's all you need. Now you come to the, oh, let me get back here. I stuck it in here and I put it up flush against this top bracket on the radio. This is the front panel of the radio. And I put it up against there. I put a dab of goop in 2 places under here. 1/3 of the distance apart, here and here. And I put some, this was standing on its face, I put some weight on here overnight. I came back and said, okay, that's pretty good. But when you push here, of course, it tries to hinge in because there's nothing holding it. So I cut that 3/4 inch aluminum angle, focus, there we go, and glued that down to the chassis on the bottom. That's not the bottom cover, that's just the floor, that's silver thing here. Put to it, this thing. That's the floor, it's not the bottom cover in the radio. And I glued it down there, and get in here. Glued it to that floor here, and glued it to the back of the aluminum case that the LCD is in. Okay. We got that done. One of the complaints about this radio, and I think partially a good part, in part is due to the that video module I showed you, the CRT. It's a power pig. It draws a lot of current. So I tapped into the, here's the Molex. This was originally feeding the high voltage section, and the CRT module plugged into here, and the video they nicely provided, if you can see it, right here, an RCA plug. That's from Icom. So I ran the video from the LCD thing into Icom's supplied composite video thing. Yep, that's a female phono, so-called RCA plug. There's only 2 connections, that and B+. The ground comes through the RCA along with the video, so you didn't need power ground. But anyhow, here's the Molex from the Icom, and we have 2 pins in there, red and black, and you know why, I bet. That's giving me 12 volts regulated. I tapped into that, so to make this easier. You see this red wire here is actually, it's hard to see, the red heat shrink tubing. I tapped into the yellow B plus line to get 12 volts to put it in a different place. I'm sorry if I'm making you dizzy with this. I should have. This would have been impossible with a tripod. Down in here, I'll put some light on it. You can see 2 fans in tandem. These are 50 millimeter. Those are 2-inch muffin fans. They're glued together. Again, we gooped them, and we gooped them to the floor. You can see the glue there on the edge sticking out, maybe, and the fan spinning away. Yeah, this is impossible. But those fans over here are in the right-hand corner in the back of that big CRT cavity. And they're forcing air back into here. And under here is a huge transformer and a regulated supply. We'll never see that down there. You can see the leads to the regulator. It's a TO3 regulator. And the heat sinks. These heat sinks used to get pretty hot after an hour or two. Right now, that's barely warm. So, took care of that. So that was mod number 2. We got the video covered. No more CRTs and high voltage necessary. Lower current draw. We got fans for cooling. These are pumping about 18 CFM. And you can feel it coming through the back here. And if you're listening, you can hear that there's hardly any noise. All right, while we're in here, tungsten light bulb on the S meter. You know, those beautiful amber S meters. I pulled the bulb out. It's on a, that's hard to see too. It's on a rubber bushing being held in the case. I pulled it out. I cut the bulb out. I put in here, in the heat shrink tubing, is a 330 ohm resistor that limits the current to the new bulb, which is a LED. I use an amber. You can get away with yellow, but I prefer the deeper, more old-fashioned color. This is an amber T3 LED with 330 ohms in series with it. You actually, when you cut the wire, you can see the red paint. I checked it for polarity, so I knew how to hook up the LED. And the little bulge in here under the heat shrink tubing. Say that 11 times. And that limits me to about 30 milliamps. You don't want to go any higher than that. And to that end, let's see where the control is. Sorry. It's cold and damp down here today. I'm turning the brightness control for the meter and for the CRT. This doesn't work anymore because this thing, regardless of the voltage applied, is still going to work. We've got it up. So you just push on them. They pop out. Go to max. Push it back in. This is the meter. I'm turning that down. You can see how low that goes. Barely visible in a dark room. And that's full. 12 volts at 30 milliamps. One little LED. All right. So that's what we did. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do on the... let me just stop this for a second. Show you what I'm going to have in the future for this. It's going to be a companion to this thing. And it's going to do some pre-selection. As a matter of fact, I want it to look like the radio. So it's going to be a rack panel that's about this size. This is 7 inches high. So we're going to use a 4 rack unit panel and build in a external S meter that'll be very large. Another display that emulates this one, or simulates this one. That's either a 9 or 10. Probably a 9-inch. This is 5. So the larger represent almost twice what this one is. On the left, we're going to have all the RF controls, which are a preamp, an all-band pre-selector, well, all-band. It'll go from VLF way down below 100 kilohertz up to 100 and something megahertz, possibly up to the 2-meter sideband. I'm sorry, 2-meter ham band. It'll cover sideband and FM, of course. Those pre-selectors are very effective. Also, with the pre-selector is going to be a peaking filter, kind of like an old Q multiplier. Remember the Q multipliers, the old Hammerlins and Allied, and who else had those? And what that is you just dial in a frequency and it gives you a very narrow passband and sends everything else to ground. So whoever's around that frequency goes away. It's essentially dead air except for the frequency you tune in. They're very, very effective. You probably don't have to use them much if you're CW op or you're doing weak signal work. They're very, very good to have. So, all right, that's going to be on this side. We're going to do of the new panel. We're going to call that the companion. Did I say that already? We're going to have all the audio controls. We're going to have additional equalization. By the way, this one has bass and treble, which you don't see on a radio too often.
Yes, you notice. So it's actually funny you brought this
I don't know if you can hear the difference.
I was thinking about this on
bass.
the way to work today. How every single
I don't know how much of that translates to this microphone.
This is all
treble.
Let's focus on America. Isn't it weird how all of it involves destroying
coming up.
Something.
So, all right. We're going to have probably a peak limiter over here, so the audio, like an AVC, the audio is all the same. I may put in a silence circuit that when voices stop, all audio stops. So if you're listening to a noisy signal on international broadcast, or you're doing weak signal work, and the beeping from the CW app goes away, the audio goes silent. You're not listening to all the QRN out there in the heavens above. That it just goes quiet, and whatever else, it'll be pretty much a proof of play type receiver at that point, where you could throw it in the van, take it out to the field, and do the intercept and surveillance thing for a broadcast station, where you do proof of play, signal quality, what is my antenna, my volts per meter field into the antenna. Everything will be calibrated using 50 microvolts equaling 0 dB. And everything's calibrated based on that. Well, hang around. Let's take a look at the back. I'll show you. All right, we're back. That took me 3 minutes. You had to wait how long? 2 wags of a dead dog's tail, I guess, something like that. Anyhow, here's the back. As you can see, they let you do a lot of stuff down here. Look at all that. I have 2 accessory DIN jacks. Antenna, this is HF, VHF, UHF. That's an in connector, by the way. This in connector is for everything above. I believe it's 1 gigahertz and up, if I'm not mistaken. The ability to power it from the van or from its internal supply. And you come along with one of these guys. Remember these from these pain in the butt connectors from way back when. I can, out of here, I can pull out the 1 volt composite, 1 volt peak to peak video to run the unit that's going to sit on the top here. I can pull out the audio. I can pull out the voltage if I need it. Get the 12 volts that I need. I probably won't. I don't want to tax this. We worked hard to keep this cool. I'll probably use an independent supply. And the antenna selector that'll be in the new unit, the companion unit, that'll feed it here. And possibly here. I don't know yet. But anyhow, that ancillary module is is going to be quite handy, I think. And being that this radio doesn't have any DSP in it, I may add a something like a BHI circuit to get some digital processing. That the BHI equipment really works well. Again, no association with them, but BHI DSP is very effective. And we don't have synchronous detection on the front panel. We're lacking. Oh, by the way, this thing's 45 pounds, according to the book. I measured, for the shipper, I measured 48 pounds. And I'm trying to move it for you with one hand. This thing does not have, I turn it on, does not have synchronous detection over here. As you can see. Can you see? It's not, yeah, I don't know if that's how that's focusing.
And so much more.
I got to tell you, the audio, the passband recovered audio is beautiful. It's actually excellent here. Icom did not fool around. All right, this is going really long. I'm up over 20 minutes. I wanted to do 10 minutes. So there it is. Any questions, contact me. My two YouTube sites are Ham Radio Doctor and my call sign, N1KPR. N1KPR has a lot of the modules in there that we have talked about today and adding on to here on separate videos. It's the biggest channel that I have in terms of content. The problem is if you're doing it through a talking remote control on your TV, you say N1KPR, you're going to get all kinds of things. So I changed it to Ham Radio Doctor. So there's a second channel with only a few videos, but much easier to find with a talking remote control. Either way, take a look at some of that other stuff and how it may apply to here. There's a lot we've done with here. There's a Watkins Johnson 8718. And over here, came in for some work, an 8711. That 8711 is about as good as you're going to do. That's all DSP. All right, gone very long. We love you all. Stay COVID-free. Stay healthy. Enjoy your evening and tomorrow. It's Bob, N1KPR. Bye-bye.